Okay, so if you're just joining us, you missed Principal Aston's great speech about finding your why. But I'm Alexa Creighton, and I am one of the counselors at Templeton High School. There's three counselors here. I am the freshman counselor, and I also have a handful of sophomores through seniors. But yeah, Lenore Jeter is one of the counselors as well as Bree Getz. And so this is our information for you guys to have in case you need to contact us. And so today I'm going to start pretty basic. I know some of you have had students come through here. And this is, you know, some of this information, but some of you, this is brand new information. So I kind of want to start everybody on the same playing field here. So I'm going to start out with grades and credits. And so our school year is divided into 2 semesters. We have our fall semester and our spring semester. And at the end of each semester, the students will receive a final letter grade that is permanently reflected on their high school transcript. Okay, so students earn 5 credits for each class they pass per semester. And so it's about 70 credits per year. And they must pass these classes with a D or higher to earn these credits. And so if they do receive enough on their transcript, they will need to repeat the course. Okay, and these are our high school graduation requirements. English, we require 40 credits, so they're going to expect to be in an English class every single year. Social science, 35 credits. Science, 40 credits. PE, 20 credits. Math, 40 credits. Fine arts, 10 credits. Practical arts, 20, health, 5, and electives, 60. So it comes up to a grand total of 207 credits. Okay, so this is a comparison chart between what THS requires for graduation versus what a UC or CSU four-year college requires for their entrance requirements. And so this is really important for those students who want to attend a four-year college directly out of high school. So this isn't for students who want to go to Templeton, then Cuesta, then a four-year and do the transfer program. This is for students who are looking to, you know, after senior year, they want to go to UCLA or Fresno State or San Diego State or a school like that. So our graduation requirements either meet or exceed many of the requirements of the UC and CSU institutions. There are a few differences, though, that I do want to point out. First is mathematics. And so even though we require the 40 credits here, there's a lot of different variations based on where students are and their levels. And so we require Algebra 1 and geometry for high school graduation. However, the UC and CSU system, they say in order to apply to our university, you at least have to have Algebra 1, College Prep Algebra 1, geometry, and Algebra 2. They do recommend that 4th year, which is like our stats or our calc class. But yeah, at least getting through Algebra 2 is a requirement. Another area that I want to point out is this language other than English. We do not require a modern language. However, four-year universities require 2 years of the same language. That means if you do Spanish 1, you need to do Spanish 2, okay? The last area I want to point out is that for those four-year colleges, you have to earn a C or better on your transcript for it to count for credit, or else you have to repeat the class. Okay, I know this is a lot of information, you guys. You're like, whoa, my student just started school this week, 8th grade. And so I know this is a lot of information, but just hang in there with us. Okay, but this is kind of what your student is going to be in next year. So English. They're going to choose between their Honors English 9 class or their College Prep English 9. So I went into their classrooms a few weeks ago and talked to both their English and their history classes and kind of talked about the difference between an honors class versus a college prep class. And yeah, answer some of their questions based on that. And then from there, they wrote, they put their name on a list if they wanted to be considered for an honors class. And then their teacher looked at the list and recommended them based on if they were interested in it. And so, yeah, so for English, they will choose between an honors class or a college prep class. For social science, they will choose between honors world geography, which is a full year course. And so we'll talk about that we'll talk about that more in a little bit, or college prep world geography, which is 1 semester, and then health is the other semester on for that as well. Okay, something to note about if your student did choose honors world geography and if they were recommended for that class, there's an opportunity for them to take the AP test at the end of the year. And so the class goes at a pretty fast pace. I mean, it's a pretty big leap from their current US history class that they're in 8th grade to this AP. It's basically an AP human geography class. And so there's a quiz every day, there's a lot of homework, and it's a fast pace. So you got to keep up with it. So that's what I was kind of talking to them about a couple weeks ago, just, to mentally prepare. And if they really love it, then yeah, maybe try it. And so I just want to prepare you guys for that as well. Okay, they will be in a math class. And so it's just their next math sequence course. So everybody's kind of at a different level for math. And so their math teacher recommended what they felt like would be most appropriate for their freshman year. Science, they're going to choose between biology or ag biology. And so if they do want that ag biology, there is an application required that I'll show you in a little bit that they'll have to fill out. Their 5th class will be a PE class, and then they'll be in a WISE tutorial class, which I'll talk more about, and then they'll choose their 2 electives. Okay. So next year, here are the elective choices for 9th grade. So they, like I said before, they're allowed to pick 2 electives. By the time they graduate from THS, they'll need 1 year or 10 credits of a fine art and 2 years of a practical art. And so you can see some of these classes have a little asterisk next to it, and that means they require an application. And so I'll show you where to find those applications. So when your student is registering for their electives, and they are registering for, graphic design, just know they will have to fill out that application in order to be considered for the class, okay? And like I was saying before as well, if they are planning on attending that four-year university directly after high school, they need those 2 years of a foreign language. And so sometimes freshmen, they want to start out with Spanish 1 because maybe they want to get to that Spanish 4 level by their senior year. However, some freshmen decide, or some families decide, well, I kind of want to ease more into freshman year. I want to take, a fine art and a practical art or some different combination. And so they wait for Spanish until sophomore year. So it's really just depending on what you want to do. But those are the options. For information about courses offered, we have digitized everything. And so we have a whole registration page now. So I'm going to show you it. Okay, so it's just on our THS website under our counseling department, but there's a lot of information on here. So I'll first start off this registration Google form. This is for our current students, so don't have your current 8th graders fill this out because this is again for our existing THS students to fill out. I have a different one for your students. We have course listings on here, so you can see all the listings, all the courses that we offer next year. Our registration booklet, which has like a 4-year plan in it. It has our graduation requirements and a description of all of our classes. We have a CTE Pathways chart, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And then those applications I was talking to you about, they're all right here. So all your student has to do is, if they're interested in yearbook, is click here, and it's a quick Google form that they fill out. And so what I would recommend though is that they, put some thought into these applications, because sometimes there's too many applications for spots in the class. And so the teacher can be selective for these classes. So I know last year I had some students put maybe 2-word answers in, and it didn't cut it. And they're like, wait, but why didn't I get the class? And I said, you have to spend some time on your application and, really think about why you want to take the class. And so this is where they can find it. And on their registration form that they'll fill out, I'll have a link to this site. So it'll be easy for them to navigate. There's also videos for them to watch if they're interested, if they're like, I don't know what graphic design is about. The teacher recorded a video of themselves talking about what to expect in their class. And so they can always go to our course registration booklet to read the description. But if they feel like they need a little bit more, this is just kind of a fun thing that some of the teachers did so they can get a better idea about what their class is about. So I do recommend that you kind of check out this page and see all of our options. Okay. All right, so this, our CTE Pathways is something I mentioned before that I want to talk about. So this is just a CTE means Career Technical Education. So it's just a great way for students to explore possible future careers. And so we have all of these different pathways that students can take. And so they're a series of 3 classes that they typically don't start until their sophomore year. So this isn't something that they would jump into next year necessarily, but it's definitely something to keep in mind for the future. So it's a series of 3 courses that they take. So like for example, animal science, they take intro to animal science sophomore year, small animal care junior year, vet science senior year. And at the end of their pathway, they get a certificate, which helps make them more employable right upon graduation. And then if they are applying to those 4-year universities, it's kind of like a concentration or major within high school is how I kind of view it. And so a lot of times college reps, when they are looking at applications, they want to say, okay, well, did this student just pick this major out of thin air? Or have they spent time to think about what they want to do and really prepared for it? And so if they're applying to UC Davis and they want to be a vet and they see, okay, they've already taken all of these animal-based classes and they still want to, be in this industry, then it just makes them more competitive, I would say. Another benefit of these pathways is they're dual credit. A lot of them are dual credit, not all of them, but some of them you receive college credit along with your high school credit. So that's nice. And there's a lot of people from the industry that come in and are guest speakers and, talk to the kids about the different avenues you can take. So it's a great networking piece to the program as well. So again, these aren't mandatory at all, but if your student is interested in one of these pathways, and it's just something to start to consider and to take, just to take into consideration. Okay. The health requirement. And so we do require a semester of health. And so if your student is in the normal college prep world geography class, that health piece is embedded into their schedule. They usually take health first semester and world geography second semester. But if they do go for that honors world geography class, which is a 4-year course, then they will need to take 1 semester of health on their own before graduation. So I do recommend that students take it this upcoming summer between their 8th and 9th grade year. Or it's not mandatory, but I just find it's one of those classes that kind of gets lost in the shuffle as they get older. So it's nice to just get it out of the way. And so they're not a senior like, oh no, I have to take a health class. And so I do recommend it, students to take it this summer. So they can either take it at our summer school, which is usually like mid-June to later July. Like last year, it was like, I think June 18th to July 23rd is when the summer school program ran, and it's an online class that they take. So details for that will be coming soon, but that's one option. Another option, if that doesn't work for your family, is BYU independent study option. And so I have a link on here to that. That class you do have to pay for though. So I think it's usually about $280, but you can kind of go at your own pace. You can kind of get it done, when it's convenient for you. So that's the benefit of the BYU class. Or students can take it through Cuesta with one of these classes, the health education, women's health issues, or multicultural health issues. And so those are just some options if they want to take that honors world geo class. Okay. Now we have a PE requirement as well. So we have a 2-year PE requirement. All freshmen are required to take PE no matter what. However, sophomore year, there's a little bit of flexibility there. So if your child is a 2-sport athlete, or if they're in marching band or rodeo and then one other sport during their freshman year, and they plan on doing 2 sports again during their sophomore year, then they can apply for a PE waiver to waive that 2nd year of PE. So they'll still get the credit once Mr. Farley checks to make sure, yes, they took 2 sports freshman year and they completed their 2 sports sophomore year. We will put the PE on their transcript. And so again, this is not something they have to worry about freshman year, but if they want that PE waiver, then they got to start, participating in those sports freshman year. Okay. All right, our WISE tutorial class. So this is an awesome program. So all of our freshmen have a dedicated period in their day for this WISE tutorial class. And so this is a time they have to work on their homework, which is nice. So they get an hour and a half, either 2 days a week or 3 days a week to work on their homework, and have access to peer tutors and Cal Poly tutors. And really the whole program is to help students with their transition from middle school to high school in an academic sense. And so, yeah, the teachers are in there really monitoring their grades. You know, they make up tests in there. I mean, there's a whole lot that goes on in that class, but just know this will be in your student schedule. There's no credit associated with this WISE tutorial class, but that's okay. The students need it. They love it. And yeah, it's a great program for our kids. All right, I've included here a sample freshman schedule. So as you can see here, we have G and W. So this stands for green days and this stands for white days. And so we're on a block schedule. So students attend 4 classes a day. And typically, like pre-COVID, they were about 88 minutes each. And so, and they alternate every other day. So one week, a student will go to their green day classes Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then their white days Tuesday, Thursday, and then the opposite week it'll flip. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be their white days, Tuesday, Thursday, their green day. So they get the same amount of minutes in their classes. And I hear good things from the middle schoolers coming to high school that they like this because they only have, 4 classes a day and 4 classes of homework to worry about per day. And what I always tell them and what I recommend is, some of them want to procrastinate with their homework. And I said, no, get your homework done on the day, on whatever day it's assigned. So like for Algebra 1, that's on a green day. Do your Algebra 1 homework on a green day, because if you don't understand anything, you kind of circle the problem or put a star next to it or whatnot. And then you have an extra day to go and talk to the teacher about it so that you can get your homework done and correctly. So when you turn it in the following day. So yeah, having this block schedule, I hear good things from our students that they prefer it instead of having all 7 or 8 classes every day. I just included our bell schedule. Again, this is pre-COVID. We don't know what this is going to look like next year yet. I'm not advertising this is what it's going to look like, but typically this is what we have. Okay. And now I'm going to send it over to our nurse, Amber Sorrentino, to talk to you guys about some health-related information. Amber, are you with us?
I am, sorry. Okay. Hi, guys. My name is Amber Sorrentino. I'm the district nurse for Templeton School District. My office is located at the high school inside the office building. Just a couple things to update you guys on, or just to remind you guys, it's not necessarily for next year, but for this year as well, is the passive student daily COVID health screening form that we would like you guys to complete prior to coming to campus. And then also, if your students are sick, to make sure that you notify the health office and your attendance clerk so we can keep track of all of that. If your student has any kind of medical diagnosis, such as anaphylaxis or diabetes or asthma, and they require any kind of medication at school or a healthcare plan, if you could just let us know so we can get you the appropriate paperwork so you can have that for next year. We usually send those out after June 1st, and those are good for 1 year. So you'll have to do that every year until they graduate if it's needed every year. So there's my phone number for my office and my email. If anybody needs anything, you can reach out.
Thank you. And then Joe Farley, are you on?
Yeah, I'm here.
There you go.
Hello, everyone. My name is Coach Joe Farley. I'm the athletic director at Templeton High School, and my email is up there as well. If you are curious as to kind of what's happening in the athletics world, I've worked pretty closely with Mr. McFarland, and we've updated the athletics page for this year. We also have a Google Calendar that's on there. If you press the plus button at the bottom right-hand corner of the Google Calendar, it'll automatically link to your Google account, and that has all the practices and competitions that are on there. So if you want to follow closely, and this will be something that will continue on as these 8th graders become freshmen, if you're curious as to what is happening on any given day, you can easily add that calendar onto your own Gmail account. So any other kind of general information, we try to do our best to post it out on the athletics page. So I encourage you to check there before reaching out to your coach or myself. If you go onto the athletics webpage and you go to athlete clearance, you will see the necessary steps to be cleared or be approved as a THS athlete. It's a 2-step process, although this year, because of COVID, it's more of a 3-step process. So this year, well, hopefully by next year, the process will consist of a family ID online registration that will have a link on the athlete clearance website. And the second part is a physical exam that has to be completed within 365 days of the day that you turn it in. We don't usually accept physical exams that are dated before May 31st. This year, we've been a little bit flexible because we know that we did not have our physical screening night, which is a time that we get pretty much all of our athletes together, and we process all the physical exams on one night. We didn't have that this year, so we understand that there's a different time frame that everyone's following, but the athlete clearance is family ID registration and a current physical exam. On the athlete website, we have the frequently asked questions. It does kind of speak to the grade requirements to be academically eligible. Just so you know, you have to maintain a 2.0 GPA, don't have any Fs in any class, or nothing, no Us in citizenship. So that's also on the frequently asked questions page that's on the athletics website. This is kind of a summary of all the sports that we offer at Templeton High. Our cheer program and rodeo are not CIF sports, but we do honor those, especially when it comes to the PE waivers. So keep that in mind. The rest of those sports, we're participating in them all, but there is a breakdown, kind of the season of sports. So some of those are in the fall, some are in the winter, and some are in the spring. If you go onto the athletics website and click on the sports tab, it'll break it up, and you can kind of see and break it up and map out which 2 sports you are interested in, or even 3 for that matter, moving forward to get your PE waiver. The golf team is kind of a unique one. We participate with the boys golf season, but we do allow for girls to participate with golf. So if there are any female golfers out there, you are more than welcome to play during the boys season on our golf team. Next slide.
All right.
Okay, are you gonna be able to play this video?
Yes.
Okay, I'll just I'll let them know that this is a video from not this year, but last year. So some of the stuff, some of the pictures, if they're not following any COVID specific guidelines, it's because it's an older video. But this is to kind of, parents are always wondering ways that they can get involved with Templeton High School athletics, and our athletic boosters is the easiest way to directly support our athletes. They meet once a month. So if you're ever interested, you could reach out to me. You could start right now. You don't have to wait until next year to get involved with athletic boosters. You don't need a student. We have monthly meetings, and you can kind of get the inside scoop on things that are happening in the athletics world. So here's a quick little video.
Let me know if you can't hear it, okay?
I'll give you a thumbs up.
Oh, oops, I need to go back.
Hi, my name is Allison Brady, and I am the freshman girls volleyball coach. I'm in charge of concessions for athletic boosters, and I have 4 amazing teenagers that participate in Templeton athletics. I have had the privilege of coaching our freshman girls volleyball team for the past 3 years and heading up our concessions for the 2019-2020 school year. I currently have 4 children benefiting from Templeton High School athletics and the funding that comes from our athletic boosters to help our athletes have the very best high school experience possible. Last year, our athletic boosters raised just over $98,000 for our student athletes. It has been such a pleasure to approve requests from our athletic director, coaches, and administrators for our student athletes. We have helped in funding our new strength training coach, supplies for our athletic trainer, new uniforms, transportation and lodging for varsity tournaments, scholarships for our seniors, transportation for CIF competitions, varsity letters, team awards, and so many more amazing things. We need you next year. There are so many different ways to get involved with athletic boosters. The easiest way is to simply become a member of the athletic boosters. We have several different levels of membership. There is guaranteed to be a level that fits your need and budget. We also offer advertising at our athletic events. This is a great way to get your name out in our little tight-knit supportive community. Lastly, you can become an active member. We meet once a month, run the football concessions, plan our annual golf tournament, and have a fabulous time saying yes to the many requests that we are presented with that all benefit our student athletes. Check out our link on the athletics tab on the Templeton High School website. We hope to sign you up as a member during our fall membership drive. I highly encourage you to get involved in the athletic boosters for the coming school year.
Okay. All right. And then is Amy Lewis on here?
Hi, yes, I'm on, Alexa.
Hi, welcome.
Okay, thank you. So I'm Amy Lewis. I'm the president of the CI board, and many of you may have or may have not heard about it, but we help fundraise to help support a lot of programs on campus to create a positive environment and a lot of fun activities for the kids. Mostly the freshmen get a lot of benefit from us. And there is a video that Mr. Mack and Mike Brady helped put together, and I'd love you guys to watch it. And I'm available to answer any questions after you have watched the video.
Here we go.
Hi, my name is Amy Lewis. I'm the president of the Templeton High School Cultural Initiative Board, or CI. We raise money for the high school to pay for activities and events that help promote a positive environment on campus. A few of the things we have funded at THS are LinkCrew, which is a class that mentors all of the freshmen through their first year of high school, Student of the Month and Faculty of the Month Recognition Award. We feed the freshmen lunch when they come for freshman orientation, and the 8th graders when they come tour the campus. Wingmen, who are the heart of our school spirit at our sporting events, have our full support. We have bought equipment such as a defibrillator and a public address system, paid for motivational speakers for assemblies, and the Eagle Pride flags that you see lining Main Street periodically during the school year. Lunchtime activities to build teamwork and school pride, such as the water balloon toss and the cornhole competition. These are just a few things we have helped fund at the high school that otherwise just would not have happened. We cannot do any of this without donations from parents and our local businesses. If you're able to, please take the time to make a donation to our nonprofit group. It's as easy as clicking on the PayPal button on this page, or you can send a check to THSCI at P.O. Box 904, Templeton, California, 93465. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thanks, Amy. Does anyone have any questions specifically for Amy right now while we have her?
I don't see any. Well, thank you for having us on. Right now, we are having our great flag. Oh, I don't know if you can see it. The flag fundraiser. You guys have seen the flyer. But we really appreciate any support you guys can give to CI so we can continue to support LinkCrew and all the lunchtime activities. And we're really happy to help the freshmen transition from 8th grade to the high school. So thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks, Amy. Okay, we'll move along here, and I want to introduce our ASB Leadership Director. His name is Matt McFarland. So welcome.
Hey, thanks, Alexa.
Yeah.
So I'm here to talk about LinkCrew. I also run the ASB, so student government, and we will have some freshmen. In fact, we have freshman elections next week, and we're meeting with the candidates tomorrow. So we are very excited about having our current 8th graders, next year's freshmen, to come and make their impact on the school. But LinkCrew specifically is a group of upperclassmen, predominantly upperclassmen, who serve as mentors and guides to help freshmen transition this first year. Research shows that how a student does the first 60 days of their freshman year really help to identify how successful they're going to be as freshmen, and then how they do as freshmen really helps to determine, not in all cases, but there is a direct correlation between their success in their freshman year and their success in the rest of high school. So we put a lot of focus on our freshmen. We love our freshmen. We love the energy they bring. WISE tutorial, like Mrs. Creighton already talked about, is a great opportunity to help them be successful academically. And LinkCrew, tying into what Mr. Aston said at the very beginning about finding your why, our LinkCrew leaders do everything they can to try to encourage our freshmen to get involved and find their why, whatever it is. They'll encourage them to participate in activities on campus, get outside your comfort zone, meet some new people. Like next week, we have a water balloon toss for our freshmen. Always super popular. The kids love coming out and seeing if they can, if they have the best hands, if they can catch them from the farthest distance. We'll do different online competitions like Kahoot games, if you're familiar with that, where there's prizes that CI is always generous to help support us in that. They'll check in on them academically. They will check in with them relationally. We come in normal years, we come and speak in the WISE tutorials. My LinkCrew leaders will come in and do like icebreaker and team building games that all are designed to teach them life lessons and how to be successful in school. We really value our LinkCrew leaders because of their servant's heart and their desire to care about their freshmen. We really see them as bridge builders. Not sure if you're familiar with the poem, but our LinkCrew leaders are helping, they're building bridges behind them to help our freshmen. Many times because they had a great experience with their LinkCrew leader and they want to pay it forward to somebody else. So we have LinkCrew tryouts next week. We got a great group of people who are interested in helping to guide the freshmen coming over. But basically, if you just think of them as big brothers or big sisters, they're there to encourage them. If they're in a sport, they're going to come and watch their games. If my LinkCrew leaders are playing in a game, they might invite the 9th graders to come and cheer them on at the game as they go and cheer them on at their games, or if they're in drama or whatever they're involved in. They just want to be someone there who shows that they care about the freshmen coming over because someone cared about them and they just want to pass that on. So that's what we do. It's a lot of fun because we really are all about fun and trying to get the kids involved, try new things, join a club, try out a sport. If you're not being successful in school, we're going to get you connected. We're going to get the freshmen connected with Miss Creighton, or in WISE tutorial, they have tutors, and we just check up on them and kind of come alongside the parents as we help them to be successful academically, relationally, and socially at school. So that's what we do. It's a great program. This is the 5th year. It's a national program. And I was trained 5 years ago when we brought this program here. And I, in turn, train our LinkCrew leaders to learn how to interact with their freshmen, how to point out teachable moments to them, how to support them, and ask the right questions to get them thinking about how successful they're being in school. So that's what we do. Happy to take any questions, Ms. Creighton, or if you want to hold those off to the end, that's totally good too.
Whatever you want to do, Matt. Do you want to take questions now or?
Sure, I'll take whatever, if anybody's got any questions.
Something that I was going to say, something I love that your class did this year in distance learning is that they, for the student of the month, the freshmen would all be Zooming, at their normal time during WISE tutorial, and then his LinkCrew leaders would go out for the freshman of the month and get them lunch and surprise them. And so they would be in class and then they would hear a doorbell and they would go out there. And I just know they loved that. That was such a bright spot.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun doing that. Normally what we do is we just we surprise them in class and bring them breakfast. And then we'll go into the class and tell them some of the things that the teachers are telling us about them or other students about how kind they are or supportive they are. And in years past, we would just, surprise them in class. But this year, with obviously that not happening, we still wanted to do it. So we would Zoom bomb their class with, of course, the teacher knowing we were doing it, and then share some encouraging things about them that we really thought would be great for not only them to hear, but other people to hear. And then we wouldn't identify who the person was. We would just say, there's this student, there's this young man in class who, and we explain it. And then we'd say, and in about 5 seconds, we're going to knock on their door. And so then everyone's kind of like, oh my gosh, who is it? Who is it? And then they hear a knock and you see somebody get up from their Zoom class and go answer the door. So pretty fun stuff. That's what LinkCrew is all about. It's about encouraging and supporting our kids and helping them to be successful on campus.
All right. Any questions for Matt at this time? Monica. Hi.
Hi.
Hey, Monica.
My daughter, I have 2 daughters in homeschool, and a lot of this information that like you going to talk to students and stuff, they never got any of that information. So as far as this is concerned, can homeschool come to that meeting still if they're going to return to in-person next semester or next fall?
Yeah, so I recorded a screencastify. It's new for me. My husband showed me how to do it. A presentation for all of the 8th graders. So I'm sending it over to the homeschool students and the TMS students so that everybody will be on the same page. Are you talking in regards to like the honors classes? Is that what you were referring to?
I wish, but no. I'm just talking about just this in general. Like they never got any of this. Like he said, there's a meeting tomorrow. Is that correct?
Monica, are you referring to what I said?
Yes.
Yeah. So, so the meeting tomorrow is for students who are interested in, who filled out paperwork in order to be a candidate for ASB.
Okay.
To be in LinkCrew, you can't be a freshman. They're actually serving freshmen.
Right. I have a sophomore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have a sophomore, but I'm looking at some of the dates on here and we've totally missed all those meetings because we don't get informed in I'm not bashing homeschool by any means. I just don't know how the communication, how it's communicated to homeschool and how, I don't know. Is it late that they get the information or is it given to our students late? I just don't know. Like we've missed a lot of deadlines because of that.
I mean, as far as course registration goes, for our homeschool and our TIS students, the timeline is just a little bit different than our current students and our TMS students because they're in a different kind of system. But they're going to get all the information, and I haven't given the TMS students any information yet in regards to course scheduling. I'm doing that later this week, and I'm sending it to the homeschool as well. Okay. So as far as registration goes,
I'm just kind of referring to these kinds of things like LinkCrew or leadership, that kind of stuff. I'm noticing we've missed like all these deadlines for my sophomore or my incoming 8th grader. So I'm just kind of concerned about the communication to our students in homeschool that are coming back in the fall. But tomorrow meeting for Mr. McFarland, that is a go. Where can I get that information?
Well, if you're talking about running for office, because so
we missed that. So I guess we missed that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry about that. And I don't, to be honest with you, Monica, I don't know how that, how those things get communicated. In terms of LinkCrew, we'd be pitching that to our current students because those are the ones that have the experience on our campus to help be those mentors and guides. Now, in this case, of course, if somebody was here as a freshman and then they're away and then they're coming back, that's a different situation. Okay. We do the best we can in a lot of different ways. For example, we have been doing until this week because now we're back, but we have been posting all sorts of things on our website about opportunities that are coming up. We do my social media class does a weekly, did again until this week, a weekly look at here's all the things that are going on campus. And some of those things that were mentioned were things like, if you want to sign up for LinkCrew, if you're interested in running for office, if you are, all those type of things. So we tried to, that was sort of our way of getting that information out because, for example, we had students who were at the middle school and then they went to Mission and now they're coming back. And so they've been checking our website and saying, okay, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything. And, and one of those people who is going to be at the meeting tomorrow to run for office is actually currently at Mission because they were checking on the website and they were saying, hey, I don't want to miss any of these things. How do I get involved? So.
Okay, perfect. I should have been checking the website.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just
Get
tough.
a little caught up, and that's okay. I was just kind of curious if it does get communicated to the teachers in homeschool or not, and how, you know, if we missed it, we missed it. But just kind of curious. But thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
No worries.
And I see there are a couple other questions. I just have like 1 or 2 more slides that I'm going to get through real fast that might answer some questions. So let me just do this really fast. So one thing is that Mr. McFarland helped create, well, he created, and I'm starting to add to it, a Google Classroom for the class of 2024. So I said we have invited, I haven't invited yet. I will invite all current 8th graders at TMS, homeschool, really any 8th graders who are coming to THS next year. They can join our class of 2024 Google Classroom. So this is the class code on here. I want to kind of show you what it looks like. And so this is a way that we're going to communicate with them from now, you know, through next year. So we have some contact information. I'm posting the incoming 9th grade registration form on here, and then a link to our course registration website where they can, you know, do their applications. An 8th grade classroom registration slideshow. So this is a slideshow that all 8th graders can look at in regards to a lot of the same information that we're going over tonight, but for them to be able to see. And then Mr. McFarland has posted just like fun videos to get them amped about sports coming up. And their freshmen are able to ask questions on here. It says, you have a question, and then they'll answer, they'll ask it, and then current students will post the answers to it. So there's already some frequently asked questions that his class has kind of preemptively taken videos of themselves recording the answers to these questions. And then if you're interested in sports, there's like an athletic interest form for them to get in connection with their sports teams and things like that. So activities going on. So I do encourage you guys to have your student join this Google Classroom so that they are able to, just get information and kind of get connected. Anything else you have on that, Matt?
No, I think we'll continue to post things on there, and some of the most frequently asked questions we already have video answers to. But if your child, use that Google form and ask us a question, if it seems like, I mean, we'll respond whatever, no matter what, with an email back to that person. But if it's a question that we think, gosh, a lot of people probably are wondering that, then we'll make a video and explain whatever the answer is so that everybody else benefits from that. So it's good for your students to join this. And this is a great way to get information because it's tough these days. It's tough to get the communication. And if I don't know how familiar you are with Google Classroom, but if your child joins this, every time something is posted on there, they get an email saying, hey, Coach Farley is announcing, here's when tryouts are, or here's the paperwork that you have to fill out if you want to do that. If you want to get physical for next year's football team, or Mr. Aston might post something about something that he wants all the incoming 9th graders to know, and it'll automatically show up with them. But that only happens if they actually sign up for this. So that's a great way to keep informed.
And then for registration, I will be, really for TMS students, Mr. Gray, so in their 7th grade, science class, their 8th grade science class tomorrow, my mind. They will be given a presentation with the Screencastify that I recorded to just give them a bunch of information. And then the slideshow will be posted with, and at the end is a link for them to choose their 9th grade electives. And so it is due by March 26th. So we're giving them tomorrow. We're giving it out tomorrow, and they have, about a week and a half-ish, a little bit less than a week and a half for them to sit down with you. You guys can talk about it, talk about what they want to do. And so they choose 4 classes. So they have 2 top choices that they will have, and then 2 alternates, just in case there's a conflict or, our schedule is pretty tight. And so they're going to choose 4 electives to start out with. And then that's how I'm going to start to make their 9th grade schedule. So again, that's going to be tomorrow, and I'm going to send that out to the homeschool program as well for your students to fill out. Okay, so let me stop sharing. That is the end of that. So we have a couple questions. And so H. Morgan, do you want to unmute? I see that you unmuted. I can't hear you though. Can anybody else hear?
Oh, I just muted it. Wait. Oh.
You there? Okay. Maybe while you figure that out, we'll talk to Taryn, see what question Taryn has.
So my question is in relation to sports. Are there any that are going to have tryouts prior to the school year starting?
That's a good question. So in most cases, yes, your student will, if they're interested in a sport, I would have them reach out to me, because our traditional fall sports begin practicing over the summer break. So those sports are football, girls tennis, cheer. I'm drawing a blank right now because they all have
cross country, buddy.
Cross country. Thank you very much. And
volleyball.
And girls volleyball. Thank you. God,
Okay.
that was a big break there.
So I should have her reach out to you through email.
Yep, through email, or each coach has their email listed on the specific sport website, so they could at least they could reach out to that coach directly to at least get in on the summer workout programs, but they can't participate with any of the Templeton High School sports until summer break. And we are in the midst of all the seasons, so if you want to wait just a little bit, I'm sure my coaches will be more responsive as we get closer to that May timeframe. Right now, they're all on the practice field right now. So.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Thank you.
Morgan, if you want to try one more time.
If they want to shoot me an email, I can say it out loud. I don't know if you can share that or.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay. All right. Mandy Thompson?
Maybe I missed it, but was there instructions on where the kids for class of 2025 would get that Google Classroom?
Yeah, so there, I'll post this on the website, but there's a Google Class code. And so if they just type in their Google Classroom, it'll ask for a code, and they just put that code in and they'll be automatically enrolled. And
they got that code already?
I will have it on the presentation that I give them tomorrow that they're going to review. And so it'll be right on there for them to see.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Miss Carvalho.
That was my same question. Just okay. So making sure that, not that our kids wouldn't totally take care of it themselves, but if, and I missed the beginning of this, I was having trouble getting off my cell phone. So did you say in the beginning how we can get this recording again with that information? Is it just gonna be on the website that we can click on and go back over this stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, Rebecca, I'm recording it right now.
Perfect.
And so I'll forward that after it gets done, I'll finalize it and I'll forward it to Alexa and she can share that with everybody tomorrow.
Anyone else have a question? Oh, let's see. Sebastian.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. My name is Alondra Ortega because it's my daughter name right there, Karen. And I have an 8th grade going to 9th grade. And one of my question is, did you have any counselor where my son can go and talk to you guys and figure out his schedule? Because he used to be like an A and B kid. He used to be an honor principal, but with all this going on, his grades are just going down. And I think he needs like encourage because I think he could do honor or college prep classes because he's in algebra 1 right now. But it looked like he needs like encourage, like you could do it, or figuring out what classes he should take in 9th grade, you know? Because he's like, oh, I don't want to take college prep and maybe it's going to be so hard and I'm not going to pass it. But I think he feels that way because of what's going on and all the stress and stuff. But he used to be good in 7th grade, you know? It just, with all this, it's just too much that his grade just going down.
Right. I hear you. Distance learning has been challenging for quite a few students. And so I'm absolutely happy to talk to him. Have him email me. My email, it was posted at the beginning of this, and I'm happy to meet with them.
Yeah, because I think he should continue with like saying he finished algebra 1. He has bad grade, but I told him you'll do better after all this going through, you know, if you hopefully kids can go more time to school, you know. That he feels he cannot continue with algebra 2 because he thinks it's too hard. And I said, I don't think it's hard for you. It's just that you've been going through much stress and just distant learning with all the just computer in their eyes all day. He gets stressed or easy and so tired. So I was thinking if they can talk to him and they can figure out like I told him, you're smart. It's just you're just being so much stress at home, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm happy to talk about options. And so yeah, just have him email me and the presentation that he'll see tomorrow. My email will be on there as well. So I encourage you to reach out.
Okay, that's fine. I will be reaching you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Sebastian.
Hi, sorry, to go back to the Google Classroom site. So is there going to be a different one for the class of 2025? Because I think the incoming freshmen are 2025. Or is that link?
What? This is for your students.
Right. But I think the current freshmen are 2024, but the incoming freshmen are 2025. I think.
They counted on my fingers. She's correct. Yes. So we need to change that. Just change the title.
We forgot.
Yeah.
We will change that immediately.
Okay, so that's the right.
That was really a test to see if you guys were paying attention.
Yeah, right.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Wait, let's change it right now.
I'm doing it.
Here we go. Class of 2025. No, I just didn't have the slide. But for everybody who wanted the code, if you just wanted to write it down, just in case your students may or may not write it down, I highlighted it right there for you.
Thank you.
Thanks for pointing that out. Okay.
It's fixed.
Okay, we're fixed. All right. Any other questions, you guys? We're really excited to have this freshman class here next year. I've heard great things about this class. They have a reputation of being amazing. My husband, Grant Creighton, said that he feels like he got gypped out of this class because he only had him for a little bit last year in 7th grade. And so I'm so excited to meet them and just get to know them and have them on our campus. We're going to be really lucky. Any other questions before we go? I mean, that's all we have for today. just keep checking your emails, have your students fill out that registration form by March 26th. And so we can start building their freshman year schedule.
And Alexa, we probably should just reiterate, we'll continue to post this on the THS website. And we'll maybe reach out to TMS too, to post it on their website as well. All the Google Classroom and all that stuff. I only know the THS website manager, so who happens to be on this meeting. So we'll make sure it gets posted on our THS website.
All
right. Thanks, Alexa.
Thank you for coming. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.